1DD, 2 BAs, and 4 planar drivers. This is probably one of the best implementation of microplanar drivers, but I honestly think this could have been priced a little cheaper. Good day guys, it is Practiphile, and yet today we're going to look at the Moondrop Meteor here. Thank you so much Mark Super Reviews for letting me review this one here. I asked Mark to borrow these and he's very kind in sending these in together with the FX17 and the nice HCK Rocky. So yeah, this is Moondrop Meteor here. Currently priced around 549. Yeah, sometimes for 400 to 500. Which one really? Yeah, 549 on Shenzhen Audio. So again, yeah, these are 1DD 2BA 4 microplanars. I don't have the box with me. The build is pretty. I mean, they look bulky and they're tall. So I thought if it's gonna fit, but actually the fit is very good with them. It's really good. It just fits the right contours on my ears, but they're just really tall and bulky, if you can see that there. One thing also to note is it doesn't have a lip on the nozzle, so you are gonna experience some ear tips left in your ears. Why do companies keep doing this? So I had to use ear tips that are tight, just like the Venus Velvet, so because they are tight. But anyhow, I don't have the box to compare, but let me just go straight to the sound. The tonality of the Moondrop Meteor, yeah, it's because it's $500, right? So this falls under my $500 to $1,000 category, which is very competitive. The graph looks like that one over there. It looks really good. It looks really smooth. Almost follows my balance target in there, except for that little bit of downward trend on the treble, but I don't mind because a downward slope treble means that they are natural sounding and there are no boosts in. The timbre instruments would sound natural. So yeah, I do think that these are balanced sounding, but it's very funny. Not really funny, but ha. Although the bass looks a lot, or maybe it's just the sub bass, but I felt like it didn't have enough impact to the bass. Maybe it's because of the gain, but it felt like neutral bass, to say the least. Yeah, it's like, how do I say is it even neutral? Yeah, maybe I can say could be neutral. Yeah, I just say it's almost near neutral in approach. It may look balanced there in tonality, but neutral actually. It's pretty neutral sounding I am. And yeah, for the tonality in this, I actually like the tonality because it's very laid back. You get that very reference sound. There's no overboosting of any of the frequencies. Well, the mid's a little bit forward. They're very open sounding. Tonality for me is 3. Now, for the bass, as I've mentioned, the bass didn't really have a lot of impact in there. It's not that, I mean, like for bass heads, you definitely should avoid this. Even if my target, it follows close to my target, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the ear tip, but it just didn't have that impact. And even when I was playing drums, I couldn't barely hear the impact on the kick drums, so that was a little bit off for me. So for the bass, I'm probably just giving it a 2 because it's just there, letting it know that it's there. It's not really doing anything special. It's also not doing anything bad, but it could have been better. So bass is 2. For the mids, again, they sound very open, very lively. I didn't find them shouty for female vocals. They just sound natural. Instruments sound natural. I tried it with my drums. I tried playing it with my drums. All sounded okay. The toms, the snares, the cymbals sounded great, except for the kick drum. Too bad. But hey, anyhow, mids, I like the mids. I like the instruments. I'm giving the mids a 3. Moving on to the treble. Again, as I've said, it is one of the best implementation of microplanars out there because with microplanars, usually they don't know how to tame that area. Look at this. It didn't even look like a microplanar in there. Usually with microplanars, say for example, the, I don't know, let's say for example, Brain Dance. Usually they have a very forward treble presentation, but not with the Meteor. The Meteor is very relaxed, very smooth, very natural sounding on the cymbals. Very good implementation of the microplanar. It's great. It feels like it's not even a microplanar in there, which defeats its purpose. Why would you use a microplanar in the first place? But anyhow, my point is it's a well-tuned microplanar. I like it. It's not so bright. It's smooth sounding. I'm giving the treble a 3. And lastly, for the technicalities, they do sound very natural, but I feel like they could have done better with the detailer treble and the separation of the instruments. They're okay, but man, $500. There are IMs that do better half the price, in my opinion. So for the technicalities for this, I'm probably just gonna give it 2.5. So that is a total of 13.5. And so 13.5 for me is A+. So it didn't reach an S. It sounds good. Don't get me wrong, the Moondrop Meteor sounds good, but I do think that this could have been priced a little cheaper. $300, even $400 max. Because again, there are good sounding IMs, like the Rockies. It's $499 with ESTs, and it sounds very, very good. Like the resolution is noticeable from the Meteor to the Rockies. I tried listening to them. Moving on to the comparisons here. First is, well, the Rockies, because they are in the same price range. Or maybe this one is more expensive, but the tonality is like there. All right, so they almost kind of like follow the same bass. The Rockies has a little bit of elevation there in the lower mids to 1K and the late gain. But overall for me, I prefer, again, I prefer the Rockies here. The Rockies just has that overall lift in resolution. Although the Moondrop Meteor can sound more natural in the treble, this is a hard choice though. Like if you're really treble sensitive and you want a neutral sounding set, maybe you get the Meteor. If you want good engagement with sound and like experience like hi-fi, high fidelity earphone, the Rockies is a good choice. Next one is the variations. The variations also has the ESTs. Yeah, I think their tuning is not so different, you know, except for that variations has that tuck. And I don't really think that the Meteor solved that problem because the bass also sounded a little bit, didn't have an impact. So might as well they put the tuck in there and increase the sub bass. But basically it looked like Meteor. If you are a graph boy and you don't like that tuck in there, then get the Meteor. If you want the extra sizzle from the ESTs, then get the variations. Now my point here is this kind of tonality is present in like less than 200 bucks. Like say for example, the Truth Ear Nova. My Nova graph's a little bit weird because it has a bump at around 6K, but most measurements don't have that. But what I'm telling is it's like you can get this sound, this kind of tonality for like 3 times, 4 times less its price. The Nova is basically this one here. The Meteor, again, it sounds good, but it could have been priced a little cheaper because it's basically just a Nova, like a better Nova with better drivers or whatever. Another one that I can compare it to is the Chronicle Daybreak, because I did say that the Daybreak is one of my reference for natural tonality, and it's very, very close as well. And they're cheaper, you know, they're just cheaper. The Meteor is just a little bit overpriced in my opinion. They sound good, but then again, I'm also showing you that you can get good sounding sets for half the price, 3 times less the price. That's it. I'm not saying the Moondrop Meteor is bad. Maybe the pricing is bad. So my message to you guys who are watching, I mean like audition. If you want that kind of tonality reference type of sound, I think it's better that you listen first to the cheaper ones. If you like the form factor, then maybe you go for the Meteor and get ready to remove those left earpiece in your ear holes because they don't have that lip. My message to the company, Moondrop, I know you're tuning really good, but I don't know why. I mean, it's not something bad. It's probably, I don't know, maybe you spend a lot with making this one here, the resin and the drivers and everything. Maybe I didn't know. We don't know what came with it, you know, how you're pricing this. Maybe the labor is getting expensive in your factories, who knows? But I do think that there are better sounding sets half the price of the Meteor. The Meteor is a good sounding set. I just think that it could have been priced cheaper. For the nth time I've been saying this. That's it for my review, guys. If you think my content is helpful and you're learning some stuff, consider liking, subscribing. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.